While trading is closed on July 30th, 2020, let's go over our calls. Look for the pattern with the early high. The pattern tends to rally into the final hour with a high there. We said the burden of proof is on the bears. They had to invalidate yesterday's action. We said the commonest thing, but not a sure thing, would be to undercut the low of the hole in the wall gap and find support there. So it wasn't a lot, but that's actually what happened. Tomorrow's pattern is the one with the early low. It doesn't mean we won't gap up first. We said tomorrow sees a strong decline. The suspicion that the top is in most likely correct. We got a big drop, but it didn't stick, and that doesn't cut the mustard. During the day, the only signal from the MEJT system was that this drop wouldn't stick, and we trade over this high and find resistance there. We'll go over our predictions in just a minute. Every so often I have to remind people of how I do things. Feel free to post all you want, but no insults, no criticism, or no foul language of any kind. I concentrate on the S&P 500. I have opinions on individual stocks. I don't care to share them. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. They're wrong too many times for me. I don't make that many bad calls on the S&P, even though I miss a lot of good ones. Feel free to make any call you like if you give the reasoning behind it. There are plenty of people who like to post all their winners after the fact but never post a loser. Don't do that here, please. It's really of no help to anyone. It's of no use to anyone. I'm happy for you, but it's kind of a waste of other people's time. If you want to post ahead of time about a stock and you give the reason and it works, fine, but just don't say I won on this, I won on this. Even if you do post, I lost on this, which is a post I never see after the fact. Okay, back to the usual stuff. Here was our beautiful channel. We gapped under it. All we had to do to make it a valid break would be to hold it at the end of the day and add 1 cent past the close. That didn't happen. We still have this potential top here. Until we take this out, there remains a valid count. Futures are already trading over this, and maybe it'll fail tomorrow, but that hasn't happened yet. Right now, we still have impulsive drops and non-impulsive rallies. Did I show this one? So far, this is just a Fibonacci retracement of the last drop. Now, futures are way up here, but I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, if they're way up here now and this holds tomorrow, if somehow it all gets reversed, you can look at this and say that's a top. But of course, if they stay where they are, which is also possible, the whole idea falls apart. It's kind of the thing, kind of a situation where I don't like to put money at risk. Friday's pattern has the early low, doesn't mean you won't gap up. We rallied all day, couldn't close over the midday highs. It's negative unless we gap tomorrow and promptly surpass them, and futures strongly suggest that we will. In addition, the volatility index has given a Bollinger Band reversal buy signal, and there was a volume spike in the E-mini contract. Often you'll see that at the market low. The break under the channel's lower trend line didn't stick, so follow through to the upside wouldn't be surprising. When signals fail, and the gap under that line was a signal, they often fail big. Just remember, the daily pattern is still showing impulsive moves down, corrective moves up. Until the recent highs fall, we could still have seen a top last week. until recent lows fall, we could still recover. There remains excessive bullishness in sentiment indicators. They're not pinpoint timing indicators. I still think it's a time for caution. The amateurs are buying calls at levels rarely seen. It's not a time, in my opinion, to go hog wild on the upside, on the long side, even if the idea for a top last week falls, as it may well do tomorrow. So tomorrow has the early low. If you're a bull, you want to hold on to the gains we have, overcome recent highs, and probably get more than that. If you're a bear, you don't want those to hold. You want us to undercut this low promptly, hold it at the close, and that would probably seal the deal. Right now we're looking for an opening with the early low. And that's today's call.